All right, welcome back to another episode of the Black Super Friends podcast. I am your host tonight, D. Horace Towns, joined by the all-star cast that I call my best friends. I'm going to start it off tonight with the ladies' man. Next, Super Mario 561, and then I'm going to Zing Chris at the bottom.
That would be King Chris, King spelled incorrectly on purpose.
Well, thank you for that enlightenment tonight. How y'all fellas doing tonight?
Hey man, I'm happy to be here, man.
Happy to be here.
Yeah, it's a birthday week for me. I'm coming up, so I'm definitely happy.
You know,
well, what did you do for your birthday?
Oh man, I just took it easy this year. Rest and relaxation.
COVID out there. Share.
COVID out there, man. You know, I did a staycation. I ain't do too much. Enjoyed life for once.
Something light.
Yeah, I'm always on the go. We just sat still. It felt different for me.
Well, you ain't never lied about that one. You stay on the go like Dora Explorer.
I'm trying to change my way.
Well, okay, I'm tagging in. It still didn't do what I wanted to do. But hey, we gonna do it anyway.
Word.
I'll go back and edit later. All right, welcome to another episode of the Super Friends. Sorry for the delay, but hey, sometimes you can't always have it your way. It's not Burger King. Want to start off the show right off the bat with a word from our sponsors. I don't know what happened to Mario, but he'll be back. This week's sponsor from Riviera Beach is D's Barbecue. D's say you don't need no teeth to eat this meat. D's Barbecue, Riviera Beach.
Sorry, man. It's storming up there.
Oh, okay. Well, we just had a word from D's Barbecue, so I think that's one of the best mottos you can get. You don't need no teeth to eat D's meat. All right, starting off the show tonight. These questions actually came from our members, some of our guests last week, who wanted to get some input from the fellas. I always tell people that watch that we are the male version of the View. So, with all background noise silenced, I'm going to the first topic. When do you know it's time to let go and move on in a relationship? Mario, can you answer that and start off the conversation, please?
Yeah, really, I think you should know automatically because you should go in there with a plan. And once you go in a relationship with a plan, you should have steps into barriers getting broke down, to different talking points that you go through with a woman, so you can know that, you know what, I don't think that we're in alignment. I don't think that our purpose is the same. And I always say purpose because I feel like that's what a relationship need to be for you to be actually going somewhere. So let me give you an example. Like if I start talking to a woman and she says she don't want to have kids, and I do, or she say, or we go out a couple of times and then her actions are off or anything like that, or she said she don't want to stay here and I want to stay there, I think it's time for you just to, hey, she might be a beautiful person, but she might not be the beautiful person for you. And then take heed to those red flags on your non-negotiable list and then say, you know what, I think we're going to end this because right now all we're doing is just complicating our lives and holding each other up from getting to the right person in our life. So I think to answer your question directly, I think is when you start seeing the red flags that your non-negotiables are coming up, and they're she's representing a lot of those.
Chris, what you got to add?
Okay, well, I like to talk about stuff that I have experience or knowledge in. And honestly, this is one of those topics that I don't have experience or knowledge in. I remember a previous show where you said something about you left all your relationships. You left all your ladies. Me personally, I'm exactly the opposite. All my women have left me. They woke up one.
I can see that.
They woke up one morning. They woke up one morning and just said, "Shit, I'm tired of this shit, Chris." So I personally don't know how to answer the question. But if I was to answer the question the best way I can, I would think that it's time for you to lead a relationship when she start acting masculine or she get into a masculine energy. That's when she start barking at you. That's when you whatever you say is always challenged, and you have to negotiate or schedule sex, and the BJs are far in between.
Yeah.
That
Time to go.
it's time to get up out of there. But a lot of times that means if she's in her masculine energy, that means we are in our feminine energy. And a lot of times we done got complacent. We're not chasing our goals. All we want to do is lay up under her and pillow talk and stuff like that. We as men, we got to understand that we got to always stay in our masculine energy and continue to strive and self-improve and lead the relationship and just be the man that she first met and that she's always can admire and want to be around. Like, don't ever get complacent in these relationships, because once you get it complacent, she's going to get into a masculine energy, and now you got to leave.
Zabo, what you got to add to that, sir?
I'm gonna come from this one. I pulled an excerpt from the great Drew Hill, and it says, "We're not making love no more. We're not even trying to change. Tell me how it slips the same.
Tell me why you fight.
We don't talk no more. We ran out of words to say. At that point, when the communication goes, when the respect leaves, it's time for you to go. I think when it comes to a point where you guys just can't see eye to eye, you gotta mutually agree that this is not working and cancel the subscription. I'm gonna say, because it takes for you to compromise, and if there's no compromising going on, there's no love. There's no need to stay around. You might as well exit stage left."
Tony?
That's all you got, bro?
That's all I got.
I'm waiting on it to close out.
I'm short and quick on that. Nah, it's pretty
well, for
dry.
me, man. Well, shit, you kind of. Well, I'm cussing. We're gonna lose a sponsor. Listen, I think what you said resonated with me. Drew Hill, I forgot about that. You know what I mean? But it's a valuable. It's almost scripture. Yeah. And Chris, I took pride in what I said, and now I think back like, damn, that's kind of effed up, because it kind of says something about me.
A little bit.
Oh, but okay.
That's how much I've grown in the last 4 months, 3 months. But I will say that, except for one relationship, I had to leave them for the same reasons they said. Like, you got two people, nobody's trying to change. So I know now I can check myself and be like, sometimes it takes some patience. But listen, I had a relationship I was forced to leave. Not that I didn't love them, not that I didn't care, but it was a Mexican standout where they're going to be determined to be this person, and that person they want to be is not what I needed. So I would say, when you lose all hope and when you feel in your heart that no conversation y'all have is going to, no conversation or amount of time is going to bring you the desired result. And I will say, for men, two things I do on my checklist, and I think men should do it, that avoid dudes out here wanting to put their hands on women and kill women. Before I leave somebody, I ask myself, can I handle the reality? The reality of them being with somebody else? Can I handle that mental image of them being with somebody else? And in my mind, can I handle the reality that they with somebody else now, make a love to somebody else? I got to ask myself that reality. And then I ask myself, do I have enough mental space to, check in with somebody else? So those are the two questions I say, because if you emotionally messed up, you just fooling yourself. But
I got a question for all y'all. So I think to go on that topic just a little bit deeper. So if you see you struggling, right? Because I know a lot of people deal with the point of we got to work through some stuff. We got to be, we got to fight through some stuff, and we still trying to learn. I think people really want to know, especially a lot of women ask me this, like, when do you know to you, like, really enough is enough? I know, because in the beginning, y'all might not be seeing eye, but some of that stuff you might can talk through, or you might can just go through, you know what I'm saying? So I'm saying, when is your breaking point? Like, what is that one thing that you can say, when I see this, that's it?
So I'm going to take that and get out of the way. Oh, go ahead.
I want to say, when it's more about pride and when it's more about being right than wrong. And I went through that in a situation where both of us had pride. Both of us treated each other like it was a gift to be with us. Both of us treated each other the same way. Like, you with me. And she's like, oh, well, you with me. And both of us feeling like we can go elsewhere and have options. So when you get to a point where you got more pride, and then when you guys get in a relationship, like, I've learned now, like, let her be right even when she's wrong for peace, and you live to argue another day. But I really didn't have no real. We always talk about mentorship. I think even if you're married in a relationship, you should have some blueprint or some positive images to keep you kind of restored or in that situation. So I believe that when you get to the point where like it's just more pride than love, because I loved the person for a long time, but it was more about pride, image, and ego, and I didn't want to go another 10 years, just to look back and then 20 years and be like shit ain't changed. I couldn't gamble with that.
So when pride,
go ahead,
Tootie, for you,
it's
when pride come first.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, because I took a lot of L.
Go ahead, Zay.
So I'm probably gonna piggyback off too just a little bit. Whenever we are arguing, and it shouldn't even be an argument, whenever we're having a conversation and it's not with a positive end, like you're arguing for the case of being right, that means you don't even care about us anymore. Because if the point is to get an understanding of each other, then you should be able to hear me out and I should be able to hear you out, not be two rams bucking heads. And I think right at that point is where I'm going to have to say that you're making a conscious decision for us not to be together, because you're making a conscious decision to argue, which something I thought of earlier. And you're working men. So imagine doing a whole 8-hour shift, and that's already hard as hell as it is, and then coming home to argue another shift. And that for me is the checkout point, because my home got to be my peace. So anything that we talk about or have a disagreement about, we should be able to amicably have a solution that's going to be positive, whether it's all the way how I want it or all the way how she wants it. We have together coming.
So yours is peace.
When the peace
all right.
Yeah, for the most part, when the peace is gone, I'm out of there.
All right, Chris.
I would have to say that when it takes too much of you to love a little bit of them, like if you're going to be in a relationship, that's your choice. But if you're going to be a boyfriend, don't be a bad boyfriend. If you're going to be a husband, don't be a bad husband. So you have to do it in all of you. So when it takes all of you to love just a little bit of them, because you're no longer loving all of them, you're loving just a little bit. That's the little memory of what got you there, or what, or just maybe the children, or whatever the case may be. When it takes a lot of you, when it takes all of you to love a little bit of them, that's when it's time to leave.
That's a good point. So when you're not equally yoked.
Yeah, that's what it boils down to. Equally yoked. You're absolutely correct.
Because the reason why I asked all y'all that, because at this point right now, y'all are 3 bachelors right now. So women should understand that and take heed of that, because we got 3 outstanding guys right here with 3 different points of view and 3 different walks of life. So right now, when you're being argumentative, when you're not trying to keep the peace, and when you just not really trying to stay on one accord or try to grow with each other and show love in continuous basis, those are trigger points to men. And I just wanted to get that out there. If we got some other, go ahead, Chris.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, we shouldn't be engaging in all that arguing and fussing. Like we should be going back and forth with her. Right. Just because she got on a emotional up and down, that doesn't mean we have to stay steady. We the captain of that boat. Keep the boat steady. If you going back and forth fussing, like just the other day, in my neighborhood, I seen a guy pull out a chopper on a girl, arguing with her, telling whoever she's on the phone calling somebody. He's like, tell them to pull up. That means she done got you so riled up that you got a chopper out telling her to tell whoever to pull up. She got you in your feminine energy, man. We don't go back and forth with women like that. We understand that it, like what Tootie said, to keep the peace. I'm not involving myself in all that. Really. You know what I'm saying? Exactly. So that's whole shit to me. So at the end of the day, man, we need to stay masculine, control the situation, and don't get involved in all that back and forth, that chatter, that none of that. That's how I feel about
it. Let me hinge on you real quick, Chris, because you said something about the feminine energy and the guys. You got to protect them. That's crazy that you said you saw that. You got to protect the women, man.
I came home and I seen the guy. I heard some arguing, and then I looked out the window and I see a guy arguing with the chick, and he got the chop out. I guess she's telling whoever she's gonna call so and so to come over there, and he was like, "Oh, tell him to pull up," loud, back and forth, screaming with the lady. And I'm like, man, look, if you got that on you, you go in the house and say, when he come, he come. But you don't got to go back and forth with no woman, man. That's weak. That's feminine.
That other part that you were talking about too is another piece for the guys. I just want to interject that real quick. Understanding that women are flighty like that, and being able, like you said, too, to understand that the piece is what's necessary, so that you guys can have the conversation that's needed to get an understanding, which is going to be the underlying thing. If y'all can't see eye to eye the equally yoked thing, Mario, you absolutely correct.
Good points. I just wanted that to be out there, because a lot of times people get those questions and then I can speak, but now it's out there so you can hear. There's 3 different kind of dudes, and it's all built up the same, because it all boils down to everybody gonna have their good days, everybody gonna have their bad days, everybody gonna have something about somebody they don't like or a pet peeve. But you always got to be just understanding and take accountability to say, hey, I'm kind of hard to deal with. She probably kind of hard to deal with. So let me do the best I can to make this situation better. And I think if everybody trying to do the best they can to make the situation better, it will be better. And y'all, even if it ain't right there, y'all will find y'all a way together, or at least y'all will find a medium where y'all can agree to say, you know what, this not for us no more. And let's amicably just walk apart. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's what it is when you're just really trying to get to a boiling point. Go ahead, Tim.
Now, so the second question is, after the relationship and moving on, when is too soon? Too soon? I don't know if we meant too soon as far as dating, or too soon actually get into a whole relationship. Afterwards, how soon is too soon? Chris?
Well, for me, I like to use the 2-for-1 rule. Now I know may not be for everybody else, so I suggest the 1-for-1 rule. I believe that however long you was in that relationship, you should take an equal amount of time single. Now, because in a relationship, you invest a lot of your time, which is your number one asset, your resources, your emotional investment, physical investment, economic investment. So you supposed to, if you're going to get into a relationship, you're supposed to put a lot and invest a lot into that relationship. So whenever that ends, you should give yourself the same amount of time you should invest the same amount of time and resources into yourself. Because what happens is we have relationship residue on us, and that's hard to get off. Relationship residue is sort of like COVID. Like when you come in contact with somebody, the stuff that comes out of your mouth, those particles can get on somebody and affect them. When you're trying to get close to them, you can affect them. That's why you get people socially distancing from you. So I believe that take your time and just make sure you get all that previous relationship residue off you. Now, if you are the one that moved on or initiated to move on, you really shouldn't be too much worried about how long it took her to move on, because if you initiated, it doesn't matter. You were done. You was ready to get up out of there. But for me personally, I suggest you use the 1-for-1 rule. However much time you spent into that relationship, you should give yourself an equal amount of time devoting back into yourself. That's what I got.
Zay.
My brother. You say how soon, I just asked how serious was the relationship, because that's going to determine a whole lot right there. But I do agree with Chris about the previous relationship residue, which is a speaking point that I was going to touch bases on. But all of what you said was pretty much it. I mean, you first got to make sure that you are sure that you're going to walk away. No pity pat. You know what I mean? Goes back to our first question of the understanding each other and the communication. All right. Make sure that you were clear and concise. Therefore, when you do step away, you are making that decision to walk away from that situation in its entirety, and not be back and forth. Also, about how soon, what are we talking about here? Are we talking about smashing? Are we talking about getting into the next relationship? Because if it's smashing, I might be with Chris. You might need to heal your heart and go smash something, my brother. You feel me? And get your mojo and your confidence back up before you go back out here in this dating world. But do make sure that you have all that previous relationship residue. It was, Chris?
That's what it was.
Yeah. make sure you got all that off. You don't want to spew any of that toxins into the new relationship, bringing that bad juju from the old situation into the new. You won't get nowhere. You'll end up where you actually started. That's what
Mario.
Well, yeah, I'm saying it's always gonna seem like we all have the same answer because it's only really one answer to me that I see this is you have to be healed. Like to me, the minute you honestly take accountability and say that you have left that behind and you have no baggage and just lessons that you bring into the next relationship or anything, I think it's time for you to go in. And I think you can move on with somebody else because you got to walk into the next relationship being fair. And you don't want to have somebody, you don't want to be painting them at any little trigger that you see them do. It reminds you of them. So I think you got to take accountability and say to yourself, when are you really healed? And then say to yourself that I'm willing to date. And I think you should date first. I think you should go into the dating world and then see how it goes, go on a couple of dates, kind of get your foot out there. I don't think you should get something serious too fast. That's just me, because I think a lot of stuff can intertwine over. And sometimes we psychologically might think we free from stuff until we see other stuff, until we find out other stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like Chris said, like you think you're free from her, but then y'all end up at the same restaurant and you see her another guy. And then you see that you're not really over her because you don't try to jump into a relationship. And now the other person who you just moved into, it could have been something nice, but now you don't hurt her because you really didn't give her a fair shot because you really just using her to get over that relationship. And that's never fair. So I think the minute you know that you actually are healed, I think you should start dating with a purpose, but still just dating.
All right. Well, I want to say, going back to my first point, I think too soon is when you know in your heart that you still want it. I think a lot of times, and I know for the female aspect, a lot of times the dude indeed cheated on you, or you didn't just got frustrated and emotionally tired, so you leave, but your heart's still there, And a lot of times, I would say as young men, especially with my pops, even some of my female aunties would say, tell you like as men, we're told, the one way to get over a woman is by getting another woman. Mm-hmm. And I think oftentimes men and women leave a relationship because of various reasons, like cheating, hurt, and failed expectations, or tired of looking dumb, but their heart's still there. So you go into a new relationship. And you proclaim it to be the best new relationship. Is I'm so happy I'm with somebody new, and it might have some benefits, but the key is your heart is still there. Your heart is still in the last relationship. So you might even be, with this new person, but you're still thinking about the old person, whether you admit it or not. So how successful can you be in the new relationship if your heart not in it? And I always tell people, you're not always going to get closure, but I think unspoken conversations and broken promises, those turn into heavy bags to carry. And that's the Chris point, 10 years ago, I was here, all over the place without second guess, with no thought. But when I actually love somebody, it wasn't that easy transition, because even if you hate the person or they didn't got on your last nerve, they've been a part of your day for so long where they're going to be in your thoughts. So I was just telling a male dude, his girl moved on with somebody else. I'm like, she might be with somebody, but, and that might actually be the reality, but don't think she don't still think about you. You know what I mean? Or don't think that y'all, just the way you're thinking about her, she's thinking about you, but you got to accept that reality as well. But so too soon, I think, as men, we go and get in physical relationships, but our heart still, elsewhere. And I think for women, that's what get a lot of women in trouble, going elsewhere, and they ain't closed the books. But those are my thoughts.
I was gonna say, trying to be savage and there's still a hole in your heart. It ain't gonna heal just like that.
No, I think that's listen, I'm gonna get slapped for this. I think this is what's wrong with the world. I mean, you got too many females acting like dudes now. And, we two different creatures. But now I be seeing chicks complain about dudes, but now chicks are like, why we can't do the same things? I think somebody asked a question the other week, but we didn't get into it, was like, why women can't have more than one man. And we were like, y'all do.
And they do.
Y'all do.
Yeah, I'm about to say.
They do.
Hello.
Like the jig is up. You're no longer fooling us. We know exactly what the game is.
Right.
Man, so those are my thoughts, man. But you know, to each his own, Chris. But I just think I've learned from my growth that you fooling yourself. You know, and if you meet a chick that say she hurt or she needs some time, don't go in there trying to be one of them Tyler Perry movie characters. You're gonna be there for a long time before she get back right, and she might still be on the pipe over there. You know, so
I a lot of times I don't quote Chris, but this time I'm gonna have to quote him. Now this is for consensual adults, 18 and older. Okay, listen what I'm saying. I agree exactly with Chris. Like sometimes it's okay to it just be sex. Like if you break up and you was in a long relationship and you start trying to find yourself and then you relay that to the other person, hey man, I'm just looking to have some fun. That's okay. Let that be what it is. But don't. And then if you change, you need to let that be what that is too. But don't come in there and then start off. Oh, we just having sex. We just having fun. And then a week later, when he has told you that he's not over it. He's broke. He's trying to find his way. But then you vibe with him so good to now in your back of your head, you done made him in a month. He gonna be my boyfriend. He gonna be my husband. He gonna be this. He gonna be that. Come on now, expectations.
But then again, hard. This is what I think. I believe in the 3 screw rule. After three hits, y'all in some kind of relationship. You can't stop her from being in a relationship after three smashes. That's just how I look at it. Even no matter what you say.
Yeah, but you could be be in a set like a cut buddy relationship.
Right.
But you need to understand that. That's as far as it goes. Because right now, if you don't draw no guidelines or draw nothing in the sand, then you can expect somebody else to be living up to yours when you never really had that talk.
The whole moral fiber of the heart is gonna be honesty. You can get all those things that you're looking for, guys, if you just be honest with it. Just tell her you want to smash. That's the one thing Chris good with. I want to smash. And she's gonna tell you yes or no. That's it.
Y'all missed the fine print here. 2 things. The dude, like we described, the dude that everybody want is no such thing. He don't get the cut buddy pass. Dude, Meat Man, the man that's the legendary meat slanger, he don't get the cut buddy pass. That 3 and out, it don't work because he might vow on. She's gonna be like, yeah, we just cut buddies. That's not realistic because in her mind, oh, I got him. Oh, we about to be in a relationship. And Lord help me pump some joy juice in there. Oh, party over.
It's over.
It's over.
Shot the party up.
So, no, they can say what they want. I mean, I say what they want, but listen.
Right, but that's bad behavior that need to be untrained because right now it's causing a whole bunch of guys to get labeled wrong because you go in with the intentions of having fun, and then when the intentions in their head change, now you a dog, you a liar, you don't want to commit, you're a little boy, you playing all these games. Well, honestly, no, I told you that I was just having sex right now and then living my life and fumbling through right now. That has nothing to do with my masculinity of me being a man. That has nothing to do with me being a liar. That has nothing to do with all these darts that you throwing at my character. And that's right now, I see that happen to a lot of men, and that's unfair. If you go in saying exactly what you want.
But what I say is this, like, I honestly don't know if that's the best technique to do, because I believe that once you devalue the box, you can reevaluate the woman. Once you get the elephant out the room, you knock it off or whatever. Now you can start to say, okay, well, let me start to really check out these attributes that she has. Let me start to check out the personality. So I don't think you should ever go into a situation just saying, oh, I just want to smash, because you don't know who that woman is. That's why I say initiate it soon and early, get it out the way, and then after that, start to evaluate the woman.
So you saying, hold on now. Because when we first see a woman, you don't say she might be a damn good book reader.
Yeah, you're right. That's why I say. That's why I say initiate smashing early.
Right.
I'm saying
I'm agreeing with you.
Yeah, once you get that out the way, then you evaluate. I don't think you should go in there saying, "Oh, I just want to smash," because you don't know that woman. I say get it out the way soon, and then start to really evaluate the woman. See if there's a lot of character there. See if there's a great personality, and then move on from there. I'm not saying just go into any situation saying, "Oh, I just want to smash." Well, depending on how she look, but what I'm saying is don't go in there just saying I just want to smash. Go in there with the intentions to smash early, and then really evaluate the woman after that. Learn things about her, see if that's really where you want to be at, and then move on from there. I believe that a relationship or any kind needs to start with a blank canvas. And you guys both pick the paints, pick the brushes, and paint your own picture. Don't go into a situation, or don't make her go into a situation, or don't you go into a situation where the picture is already drawn out, and all you gotta do is pick the crayon and stay within the lines. No, I say you guys start with a blank canvas. You two pick the picture, pick the paint, and you guys pick the brushes and start your own portrait.
Well, in my opinion, Chris, since I'll address the comment in a minute. In my opinion, I think that's what everyone's doing now. Most people hooking up, smash, and then let me evaluate what this person has to offer. That's what I see happen all the time. And I think that is the generational trend that's going on right now.
Well, we didn't get it right before. We act as if we got it right before. We have a lot of history, and it's not good. So maybe this way is a little better. I'm not saying, because I don't have proof that the previous way is the best way, because what we've seen the previous way has resulted in fatherless homes. We didn't start that. Everybody on this panel have a situation with their father. That means we didn't start that. So whatever they was doing in previously, we maybe need to scrap that and start doing what's going on now. Because again, once you get that elephant out the room, because that's honestly that's what it is. We got to take the taboo out of the screw. Once we take the taboo out of it and stop making it, we can't have the same mentality about sex that we had when we was teenagers.
But if you don't know nothing about the girl and you go screw, come on, like I'm saying, she could have deep traumas that you just put your dick in. Excuse me.
Yeah.
Like she could be really messed up. Like I'm talking about. Like all over messed up. Like because right now one night stands exist. And in my younger days, that's what I'm saying. You don't think about that kind of stuff. But the older you get, it's just some stuff that's unwanted. Like I don't even know. Like I ain't trying to be funny. I don't want to get spiritual. But right now you can go to the club, meet somebody who look good, but she a devil worshiper. But you don't fuck her. So then now she all in the other room. Like that's what I'm saying. It's so much stuff can happen with that. So on my end, right now, me talking as somebody who almost 40, I'm gonna give my advice gonna be a little different. I'm gonna say at least have a little bit of a conversation, because you got to nowadays you got to know at least somewhat what you're getting into. A lot of times back in the I just went in blind, and that's the mercy of God that I seen that we all fell up under, because we could have been took out a long time ago. So I think at some points right now you got to say, let me at least know something, because people they be in the club and they be having all kind of stuff going on. So, and if you're going just to smash, that's what I was going with that. Just going with no strings attached. So I'm kind of agreeing with you saying a blank canvas, but I think you need to find out what paintbrush she using, what kind of paper, just to make sure all that. Because you go in there and she with water paint, and you with ceramic, you got the wrong. Now we had a big mess. You don't want that.
Yeah. Well, I want to say two things, which will be controversial. One, I always thought Steve Harvey rule about 90 days before sex. I think that's horrible advice. Simply because you're not gonna, and this is a secret I'm telling, you're not gonna really know what a man wants from you or about until you have sex. Because if I really want to hit, I'm gonna do everything it takes to get it.
That's what I'm saying.
Poof, I'm out. But if I'm really into you, I'm gonna stick around.
That's the worst.
So you holding it off, it's only gonna make me mad. It's only gonna make me angry. And by the time I do get it, I'm gonna be like poof, because within 30 seconds, they've already done their scan to be like whether you're gonna be able to smash or not. Second of all, in this era, I would say most of us are gotten to a point where we're mature enough. You have scenarios now where it's women that want to have sex with you, but the wisdom and growth in you is like, I don't want them problems. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to deal with what comes after that. I'm not into it like that. I don't want to deal with drama or stress, because men grow and they be more about peace. So I just think it's a lot of stuff that you start to grasp as you get older that you ain't really think about, like Mario said, when you was a little bit younger.
All
Makes
right,
sense.
I got you.
All right, well, thank you. That was a good one. Listen, I'm going to the third question, and this came from the lady. So when someone like Dr. Kim says, how do I know what's in a woman's mind? Well, honestly, this is my opinion. And second, most of all my friends are women. Other than these dudes on the screen, I don't really deal with any other dudes as far as conversation. So I think I am great for dialogue and conversation. All right, third topic. Someone asks, do we think this panel, that's the black version of the view, do we think that more black women would be married if they lowered their standards? And this came from a female viewer. I'm going to Xavier first.
Gonna take this one. I'm gonna say absolutely not. Negroes ain't marrying you now, so you lower your standards, just gonna make it worse. I ain't gonna lie to you. But I think that on the flip side, something Mario touched on, which was exactly the direction I was going, is the expectations that these women have need to be toned down just a tad bit. You guys are taking in too much of the Real Housewives or foolishness that y'all see or hear from friends that have no man or not in a relationship, and you guys are taking it to heart. And you have a relationship with an individual that's he's showing you that he's willing to work it out because you're already in a relationship. And ladies, if you've been trying to get a guy in a relationship and you actually got him in one, that's good. It's like catching a leprechaun, because a lot of guys are trying to evade that, because in this day and age, it is easy to get caught. Hell, a lot of them paying for it and y'all allowing it because y'all want a Birkin bag that y'all want, but y'all don't want to pay for it. And because I want a box and I don't want to talk about it, how about I just get the Birkin bag and get straight to the business? So I don't think you should lower your standards. I really don't. And the guys, they'll meet up. If you, again, like I said in the previous episode, wait on that man to come. You'll wait on that man to get rise. And I could be wrong, but are trying to push the issue of marriage because of cultural rearing, the way you guys were raised to be that, but you guys don't all the way understand it. And I think that clouds the judgment on it. And so you don't need to lower your standards.
Dang, Xavier. Listen, when you said no, I was like, dang, that's kind of your answer mirror mine. And before I go to Chris and Hardy, I will say that I want to agree with you. I want to say no. I would actually be surprised. I'm actually going to surprise you and say I think that women should update standards. I think we have to identify and realize there is some truth to the thing that good girls like bad guys, and I think women fail to realize that y'all set the tone for what is accepted. I think if women right now were in pretty boys, dudes, you will see more dudes trying to be pretty boys. If women were in the hard-working dudes would be flying out to get their jobs and get their stuff together. But the reality is dudes have changed the tide. You know, men know it's a shortage, and some women are taking what they can get. Some women are uncompromising by saying, but some women are saying, like, I'm straight by myself. I said all that to say, when I was young, I dressed up because I wanted to attract women. When I dropped my car, I knew I was going to pull some women. You know what I mean? And back then, the chicks were into the dudes with the whip, nice dressing. And, you know, when I was in high school, it was the pretty boys. So I'm saying overall that I think that whatever you guys are into, we're kind of gonna follow that trend. But right now, ain't much required because I ain't hating on nobody. But what I'm seeing is like what you not enforcing. I'm sorry, Zay, go.
No, I was gonna say it was one thing that I left off because I definitely wanted to make sure that I interjected that one. For the women who have the high standards, because not all women want to be in a relationship, keep your high standards and just know what comes with that, because that's a decision that you're making. So therefore, if you don't find yourself in a relationship that you are looking for, know that it was the decision that you made it. But that's okay, because at the end of the day, that's what you wanted, and that's the way life goes. You know, unfortunately, you're happy being who you are and out frolicking. So
yeah,
don't lower those standards.
No, but I'm saying what a lot of times I've seen the most professional, and this is when I'm up north, the most professional woman to see the dude she deal with is a 2 Chainz replica. You know what I mean? So, you know, it's a trend we're going through now. But neither here nor there. Mario.
Well, I think that when we're talking about standards, I think you got to be realistic for one. So I think that you got to look at this world right here and play the numbers game for all women. I think you this. If you want your standards to be high, then you should be high. So right now, if you're saying you want this, and this, you got to understand when you want that, everybody else want that. Every single woman walking the earth want chiseled over $100,000. Some spiritual man, good with family, good credit. Everybody want that. So then you gotta ask yourself, okay, who are you to want that? So then I think once you look at what it takes to attain that and what you have, then I think you should go calibrate your standards and say, well, I know I don't like to go to the gym. I hate going to the gym and I love eating turkey and hamburgers and fries and cheese. So I can't require a man to have a body like a Greek god, and I'm finna go sit over here and do this. Well, I know I like to splurge. I don't like to save a lot, so I can't require a man to have $100,000 in the bank in his savings when I want to go buy another Louis purse every day. I know I don't have a Range Rover, so why would I require a man to have a Range Rover? That's what I'm saying. At some point, you got to start saying you got to build a teammate. If you a CBA player, you can't require an NBA contract. And that's just life. And I think, so when it comes to standards, I think your standards should mirror who you are. So I'm not going to say lower them. I'm not going to say I'll raise them. I'm going to say your standards should be a replica of who you are. Go ahead,
Chris, bring me home.
Well, I'm glad you addressed critical Kathy Kim down there because she damn. But I personally think that it's a loaded question. That question implies that women have the power of marriage. When unless there's some cosmic shift and some cultural change that women are now proposing to men, we still control that. So I think the question isn't whether I don't think it matters if they lower or raise their standards. The question is, why aren't we asking them to marry us? And that's to get to the bottom of that question, we have to be honest, like completely honest. We got to ask ourselves, why aren't we asking them? Like some of us never even considered the thought of sleeping with one woman for the rest of our life. Some of us never had this positive image of a marriage, so we have no idea. Some of us just love peace and freedom and stuff like that. So we have actually no idea. We got to be honest with ourselves and find out why we're not asking them to marry us. Now, I had a conversation with OG this morning. He told me to call him because of a comment I made in the last show, and he was telling me basically maybe we should start choosing women for our spiritually that connects to us on a spiritual level, connect to our soul. That we're worrying about so many other facets, but we're not picking women that connects to our soul. I hear Hardy talks about purpose a lot. Maybe we need to start picking women that align with our purpose instead of how they look and all these other things. But honestly, I think you have to ask yourself this. I hear people say, I know my worth. What if your entire worth was gold? Like just you had all your worth put in gold right in front of you. What would it take for you to give somebody all of it? Like every bit of gold that you have, give it all to somebody. That person would have to be pretty phenomenal. So when we thinking about marrying a woman or women marrying us, we have to think of our worth as gold and definitely think about who you're going to give all your gold to. So again, to answer the question, it doesn't matter whether they lower it or raise it. We have to ask ourselves as men, why are we not asking them to marry us?
Oh,
that's all I got.
Okay, well, it's interesting you said that. The OG said something, Chris, because growing up, we were always told you want to get you a good church girl, right?
Mm-hmm.
Nobody
told
that, right? And interesting thing is, and this is interesting to me. when I was in music and I was entertaining, I met some phenomenal women, right? That met me doing entertainment, knew my schedule, knew all of that I was going through. Then when I got into the relationship, it was like I was asked to make a choice. You know what I mean? So you know who I am. This is how I make my money. This is how I live. But now it's almost like a choice between, okay, are you choosing me, or like I want you to change, knowing that if I walk away from that, I'm losing my identity. You know what I mean? I see, and it's funny because one of our friends is a Instagram comedian. Like he puts up memes and all that stuff, right? Now chicks will go after him and love him because he's funny. They love him for his memes, right? Now once he get into a relationship with him, first thing they say is, "You always on Instagram. You always liking pictures." So, man, I got off topic, but I had to add that because of the OG. The spirituality point is something that does bond you, but I don't know how relevant it is in current day dating.
I thought he was talking surface, because I 100% agree with OG. If we're talking about life and the intention of forever, like living forever, because I believe if your purpose not aligned with nobody, with your significant other, then you destined for doom anyway. Because I believe, what he's talking about is the grade of what we here for. So if you here for that, then if you say, I believe this woman was created to be my helpmate on this road to fulfill the purpose that God has created me for, then you should definitely look at that. But I was talking about like surface wise, that if you're not spiritual, if you're not gonna look that way, then I just think that if you're gonna be materialistic, then make sure your materialistic stuff equal out to the stuff you're requiring for the other person to have. That's what I agree with him wholeheartedly when it go to picking a mate to marry. I think that's the only way marriage ends.
Yeah, that's the reason why I took. Okay, go ahead.
The question on the screen is, what are the misconceptions and fears in regards to marriage? That came from Dr. Peters. What are the misconceptions? Teach y'all quickly. What are y'all?
Well, you gotta think like this. For men, it's not the best business deal. You can lose everything. You could lose half. You could. I didn't see marriages where the fun box gets shut down. So there's women have to take in consideration what it is for a man to get married. How he's lived his life since he was 16 years old. You know what I'm saying? He's been smashing since he was 16 years old, and all of a sudden now that's just out of line. You can't do stuff like that anymore. So that's a big fear. A big fear in getting married. Just everything completely changed that you've been doing your whole life.
Zay, Mario.
I'm with you, Chris. I was gonna be a little bit more even pettier and crass than that, because we're guys, but you giving us a little too much credit. A lot of guys fear just losing all the women that they had. To be honest to you, that's a big risk we taking. We're putting all our eggs in one basket, and you might crap out on us. But it goes right back to the beginning, like the OG told you. I said a lot too. I've gotten into understanding. I need to understand that person. You know what I'm saying? I need that person to understand me. There are times Zay's an asshole, but if you love me, you can see me through that, and we can keep going down the road that we're on. But I think that's the big part that's missing right there, man. Understanding, and just like I said, understand the fears that come along with marriages. Got to take care. It's one box. Like I said, I'm gonna be real basic with it. It's one box for the rest of your life. Are you up for that? And a lot of guys are not up for that. This is the reason why you have a lot of marriages that you see that look real good on Facebook, but then y'all be, cackling and making y'all sideways comments on Facebook too. Or I just seen them with such and such and such and such. So are you telling me that that's what you want to sign up for? That's what you want so bad that you can say that you're married? Or do you want to take the time out to learn that person to make sure that, oh yeah, I do want marriage with that person?
Facts.
Those are some questions you got to ask.
Yeah, I was gonna say my fear since I was a kid was marrying the wrong person. That was one of my biggest fears. Second of all, my second fear was actually getting married and not being able to be the man that I needed to be in that relationship. People forget that once I marry you, I'm taking on all your crap. And if you hide it, I got extra crap. But the man is the sole provider. He has to pay. So this man right here who's challenged to take care of himself, now I'm taking care of a wife. And I'm taking care of potential kids and stepkids, insurance. A man has a lot on his back. So those were my fears, and those were the issues I had. I think the misconception I had was thinking that once you get married, your problems are going to be, a little more bliss. And the reality is that's when the work began. Because if you think, like I said all the time, if y'all had problems before y'all got married, they only get amplified. You have to resolve those issues, and you can't take anything for assumption. A lot of times you assume that we both like this, and if we had a decision to make, we assume that we're going to agree. No, I believe, like Dr. Peters is saying, you guys have to have those honest conversations for where y'all stand. Even if y'all disagree, y'all both know where y'all stand for later on. Go ahead, Mario.
Well, first of all, everybody know how I view marriage. I view marriage as God created. That's why I believe it's two women, a man and a woman under God in a relationship, in the union. So I believe that one of the misconceptions is that you could be married and not have God. I don't believe that I could do it without that. Me personally, don't feel like I'm strong enough to uphold and to fight every battle and to go through all this world and then have the weight of being the leader and the head of the household without a higher being lead me. So that's one misconception. I believe that a lot of men go into it understanding the weight of being married, but they don't understand the process of getting themselves right, spiritually sound, and in one accord with God, so you could be able to lead this family. Because once you get married, you are the head, and then you are responsible for those people under you. That's how I believe. I think the fear is just it's not even the elephant in the room. It's the known. Everybody, when they get married, want it to be that's it. I think the fear is getting a divorce, because the whole motion and the whole vulnerability of just actually saying, I commit to you for your life. I commit to you. I have your back. I'm your one to your two. It's me and you to the wheels fall off. To take that much of you and give it to somebody and leave yourself that vulnerable is the most scariest place that any human can be, man or woman. So to me, the biggest fear in marriage is divorce, because you don't even know how you're going to be on the other side of that, because you don't gave so much of yourself up and became so much of a y'all thing. Because before my marriage, it was Mario. Now it's us. So if I couldn't imagine living years of us and then all of a sudden have to go back to Mario when you've been doing that. That could be just a whole shock in a life. You know what I'm saying? So I think one of the biggest fears is divorce, because divorce is, like you said, because you can lose it all, and that's not only talking about money. You can lose your mind.
Yeah, exactly. Your brain.
A whole bunch more than just materialistic stuff by being married, because if you really thought you found your soulmate, you would be crushed. And me and Chris had a conversation off of camera about this, and it's true. But then that's when I always go back to, you're right. My fear, I can't live in that fear, because I have to understand and believe in my heart. That's why I went down the aisle, that God gave me the purpose. And Jaleesa's on my road, and she's my helpmate to fulfill our purpose. If I didn't believe that, I couldn't do this. Because you're right, it's too many fears or too many unknowns when you're walking into marriage.
I want to say this question came from Dr. Cortina Peters, and you should check out her book. That's The Wow Effect: Winning Over Whining. Go check it out on Amazon and wherever you get your books from. Shameless plug.
I want to say something. Zay said something. Your message come from the damnedest place. And Zay ain't never been married, but he said something last week. He was like, in relationships and marriage, everybody's definition of 10 is different. I think I'm quoting you right. So, in a relationship, it might be 9 plus 1. Somebody might be 7 plus 3. So that 10, how you get to that 10 is different from everybody, for everybody. And I was like, I got off the air and said, damn, I got that from Xavier. You know what I mean?
My guy.
So, yeah, man.
Jules.
I drop him every now and again. Every now and again. But I think you said something too about go ahead, Hart.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say I was gonna say about the Jews too that was talking about how we were raised. I think you might have brought that up. That's another fear about, because those dudes, I don't remember getting up, not one dude ever telling me, you need to get married.
Never.
No.
Nobody.
You know what I'm saying? So women, y'all gotta understand with us, when we are trying, and that's what it is, because we're trying, because we don't know nothing about going down that road, especially if we ain't grow up seeing it, you know what I'm saying, inside our household. do yourself a favor and listen. Like I keep saying, understand, because that's the only word that keep coming to me. Try to understand that person if a future with that person is something that you want. And then it goes back to what the OG said about, that being your mate, because if she is understanding you, she's hearing what you're not saying, and she's gonna also compensate for that. She's gonna water you as a flower, and you should water her. So it should be reciprocal. Ladies, I don't want y'all to think that I'm just talking one-sided. Anything that that person is requiring of you, they got to be able to do that back too. And if they're not, then back to probably our second question or the first question. That's right where you need to start doing your exit plan or coming back to the table saying, "Hey, I thought we were moving this way, or I want to move this way. I see that's not where you want to go. Then that's fine. Are we still on the same page?" And getting that direct answer. I think that'll keep away from a lot of that F-boy talk that I hear flying around so rampantly, because that ain't cool neither. And you're definitely not gonna get no man with that kind of speech.
Yeah.
One thing I want to get one more tip too. I think a lot of times people need to understand. First, some people don't like to talk to therapists or whatever, you know what I'm saying, might be. And as black men, we don't, right? So if you do, then you definitely should do that. And if you do, contact Cortina. But if you don't, then I think you should always have a group of people in your life that you honestly can be transparent with. And I think if they're not pushing you forward, they should be be able to pull you forward. And I'm saying that to say this: when I started, I love y'all to death, right? But when I started saying that I was going to get married, I probably didn't talk to y'all too much about me getting married, because now one of y'all married. So I started saying, let me get around people who kind of married. Let me get around people who kind of could give me advice or give me their point of view. I don't mean I'm going to use everything they got, but they might have tips to give me. They might have to say, because you're right, my dad didn't give me a lot of tips. Like, nobody really told me that. So as the man, I had to understand what I was finna embark on, and said, I'm a man though. Hold up, let me pull up my, just like I did anything else, and find out how to make this work. Because I believe in this marriage, 80% of it work is gonna be me, because I'm a man. That's how I feel. And maybe that's chauvinistic, but that's how I feel. So I said, you know what? Let me go find other men who I think have successful marriage. They might don't, but that's just what I did. So I started talking to them, man. A lot of them I seen on a consistent basis told me, the men who I really talked to, because I subscribe to God, so I talked to a lot of people who was church driven. So I talked to a lot of men who I seen had kids, because I had kids. I talked to multiple men who had mixed families, because I had already had a daughter, so they can give me some true to life advice. And a lot of them said the same thing, that right now, once you start working on Mario to the fullest, I'm talking about really diving in and working on Mario, and then really committing to working on Mario, you can be the best man that you can be. Then you're gonna understand your level of what you need and what you can't take, and what you gonna take and what you able to do. Honestly, it won't be no ego involved. It won't be no what you heard involved. It's gonna be you. Like, I know what I can take, so I know what I can require from Jaleesa. Period. I know what I can accept for her, what I can't. I know me. So I think a lot of times as black men, we got to understand and start trying to find out, like, really who we are first. Because it's a big responsibility to be the captain of a ship, because everybody on that ship is not just people on there. These are people you love. And I know everybody on here would die for they family, who they love. So imagine adding people to your family, to that ship, and continuously adding people to that ship. I wanted to be the best captain I could. So I worked on being a captain before I worked on picking my crew. And a lot of times we focus on right now on who's going to be this and what the crew going to do, what the crew going to do. Damn that. I'm running this ship. Let me make sure that my ship is intact first, and then I can give orders down to the crew. That's just
Bars.
Yeah, definitely said a word there, my brother.
Well, listen, since the spirit is moving, and I take pride in this show. I take pride in this show having some vulnerable moments and being transparent, right? Somebody can watch the show and be like, oh, they say X, Y, Z. When I talk on this show, I think I've shown some growth in being accountable. Right. Saying I'm talking about me. I've learned so much in the last couple of months from Mario, who just got married, and he's taught me a lot. I've actually got some nuggets from Zay, and I'm like, but
who's never been married.
Yeah, so I want to, but that was the point. So I want to transition into another topic, but stay on this topic at the same time, because you guys don't even know about the topic. I wanted to share a conversation that me, Chris, and Mario had last week in production, where I don't know how we got on the conversation. I want Dr. Peters to stay. We had a conversation and we were going back and forth. And I told Chris something that bothered me that he said. I don't know if I said it bothered me, but I was like, you know, for now, let's just not say that. And then we got into a conversation that needed to happen. And Mario's good at be like, no, we need to talk. So in the conversation, he said X, Y, Z to me. And I think we're talking about marriage. He was like, well, and Chris is a diehard friend to anybody he's with. He's a diehard friend. And in the midst of me being mad, he said something that I had to take accountability for. Chris was like, I said those things because I never heard you say anything positive about your marriage. And we went back and forth. I was like, well, you're a person that's never said anything about it. So why would I talk to you, share, you know, my experience, because you always said something negative from the get-go. So I didn't feel like it was a safe space. But the point was, him saying that made me realize, like, you know, at the end of the day, Chris is a loyal friend. What you tell him is what he's going with. And I had offense because I'm like, I had offense, but I took it back to say, you know what? I never did tell him anything positive. I went to Zay, I went to Mario, and Chris was like, I never heard you say that you loved her. So I'm like, that's crazy. I absolutely love this woman, but I never felt safe telling him that. So I said all that to say the last year, and this is where I'm going with this. The last year, we have not seen anything like this. You got COVID, we got police brutality, you got people going through financial issues. And I went through a stretch where I, as a city person, right, I get calls for housing. Somebody just got put out, they need emergency housing. I might have somebody call me and say, can you get my son a job? I was getting so many calls, but I was like, I ain't getting nobody that ever just no call that said, hey, you all right? What's going on with you? And instead of me voicing that, I held it in and I had some resentment. You know what I mean? So I said all that to say, we had a conversation last week that gave me what I needed. And I'm saying right now, a lot of times people will be mad with each other. And then as soon as the person die, they get a moment of clarity to be like, you know, it was about nothing, or they have instant regret. So with people dealing with people, whether they admit it or they're looking to themselves, you got people dealing with depression. You got people dealing with rejection. As Black men, we are taught to be that nothing bother us, that we're supposed to be painless, and everything gonna be all right. Even when you hurt, and you're supposed to take it on the chin and don't show no vulnerability. Right. So saying to y'all, thank y'all, because it was rough. But having that conversation helped me. So I love you guys. And we got to be more accountable with each other and have them conversations, man. You know, that's what manhood is about. So I thank y'all for that. And with Dr. Tina, I told her last week, I was like, I'm going to come sit on your couch. You know, we talked to her, but I think we got to get away from that stigmatism about therapy. I just seen Kanye do an unstable moment. You seen Tamar Braxton try to kill herself. So I just think, how do we address dealing with some of the stuff we've been taught that we need to shake off because it's really hurting us? Mario.
I think you just brought up the biggest point, and I think that's why I focus so much on us talking. Because see, when I was growing up, I thought I had a whole bunch of friends. So I thought that's how it is. Like everybody loved, like, you know what I'm saying? Shoot, everybody fun, everybody this. And then I started getting older and started saying, hey man, good, solid people in your life are hard to come by. Like truly hard to come by. So I had to understand that your family you're born into, but your friends are people who I believe God put in your life that you know that you wasn't born to, but you're going to need them too. So don't devalue them. So a lot of times I see that we overlook our friends, or we overlook people, especially Black men. We overlook each other because, you know, we don't create a safe space, but we really do love each other. So I was like, bro, I don't want to see us fall out, or I don't want to see us sit here around each other and one of us just wither away. And we don't even tell each other, like, bro, I got you. Like, not only do I got you financially, not only do I got you with help moving or anything like that, but I'm saying I got you if you want to talk to me 100 times a day, bro, if you need that. That's what I'm here for. Because if I can't do that to you, then I can't call you my friend. But deeper than that, because I look at y'all like brothers. So when I look at that part of it, I had to say, man, we got to do this, because if you my friend, you can tell me, Mario, you're acting like an ass right now. And I might not like it, but like you said, I might need to hit it. Because that might save me from down the road. And I might be like, damn, you know what? I was acting like an ass. But shit, okay. Or set boundaries. And that's okay in friendship too, because we did a lot of that. Because you're right, too, that conversation was needed. And it was needed to set boundaries and to open up doors and for clarity on all of us. You know what I'm saying? So when black men start having those real conversations like that, and understand that you might not walk away that day feeling all hooray, hooray, but then a couple of days later you come back, because that's what happened too. Because the end of that conversation is a couple of days later we got back on, and then it was a different clarity between all of us. You see what I'm saying? It was a different understanding, and that's behind us now. But that could have just held on and festered, and it could have been a whole thing. And we've seen great groups and great things just fall aside because of people that doing stuff. So I think that we need to promote that more, and I'm glad Tootie brought that up. We just had did that, and I think that was a big understanding for me too, because I walked away happy, because we did get a lot off our chest and we moved on, and we didn't even look back since. You see what I'm saying? And that was a great thing.
Chris.
Well, I honestly love that conversation that we had. You know what I'm saying? I feel like this. I suffer from everything that you said. That whole, I have to be strong. I have to be somewhat emotionless, but I let a certain group of people get close to me. You know what I'm saying? Because I do suffer from that. And the people that I let get close to me, I do trust them. I am open with them. I am vulnerable with them. So I'm not as open to therapy, but I am open to having great friends that I can be honest and open with and talk to. Because I respect a lot of y'all opinion. I respect how y'all feel. And y'all know that I'm not going to say, when I say something to you, it's not, I'm trying to tear you down or nothing like that. This is how I talk and this is how I communicate. But at the same time, in my mind, I never figured that it was ever an issue. It's just something that was said. We had to say it, and that was it. Because I love y'all. So it's never going to be an issue. It's never going to be a problem. But I think that for me personally, a lot of that came from actually, moving up to Orlando to be back with my daughter, because it gave me a space to say things like I love you and to show how I feel and stuff like that. Because you seeing a person that's, as soon as they see you, it's like you a rock star. You know what I'm saying? They telling you they love you, and so you start to say I love you back to them, and then all of a sudden it's infectious. So now I'm on the phone with my homeboys, and at the end of the phone, oh, hey bro, all right, bro, I love you, and that's it. And then it's like it's infectious, so it's reciprocated to me. So for me, man, I don't know much about therapy because I'm still a little thrown off or whatever. But at the same time, I have no problem. Yeah, I have no problem with talking to my friends and to my brothers and being open with them, and I can take that advice that they give me and run with that.
Zay-Ball.
So, I missed that conversation. I think I was out of town when you guys had that, but I'm glad. But the one thing I can say with you guys is we do have that one thing you guys always get on me about, or at least know Mario does, is that I do care. So I don't understand why you can't be honest with me. I think one of my problems that I have that my boy told me is that I'm too nonchalant. Just because I'm nonchalant does not mean that I don't care. It's just that I won't say I don't see the urgency, but if you dance around the subject with me, if you're my homeboy, I love you. You said you love me, and you can't be vulnerable with me or be open to tell me exactly what's going on. I start to look at our relationship to see, are we really as tight as we say we is? And I have reason for that. You guys are my core, so y'all know, but I don't have a problem sharing it. I've had family that you would think ever in a million years, a dog you or do you dirty, do me dirty. So my trust on everybody is like, hold up. The minute I feel like you're not being open with me or vulnerable, and I'm closing doors, and I become that onion with you. Like, we can always be cool, but I'm not gonna let you into my inner sanctum. I don't have that with you guys. Y'all tell me all the time, say, I think that was just the stupidest thing you could have ever did, and I take it with a grain of salt. I don't take it as, oh, me and Mario got a problem with me and Chris beefing, or or shouldn't have said that to me like that, or whatever the case may be. If I feel that way, we speak about it and we throw that behind us, and we toss a couple of jokes around about it, and we move forward ultimately. So I think that for that, I love you guys for. I think that needs to be shared a little bit more with what we have going on. And yeah, that's it. I appreciate you guys for that. You know what I mean?
Word.
Yeah, well, do know I got one conversation for you too, Zay, when we catch up.
I'm ready.
Because he been
I might
having
just
it,
need to
though.
hug you. And
He's
that's
been
all right
having
too.
it backstage though.
Yeah,
Oh, okay,
yeah.
cool.
He got some,
Ready
he
for
got
your
some, he got to load the clip on you, dog.
Oh, man.
It seems like every time we do it, for some reason you be missing though.
Yeah.
Because he be ready
Yeah.
to give
God
it to you.
knows. No, he just got to
Oh,
have
yeah.
me ready. I don't want to be an asshole to you when you telling me whatever it is that's bothering you that I probably have done, because I might not have known I did it. And I don't mean no harm by it, but guess what? It happens, and that happens in life. But we're going to be able to sit down, hash it out, and I guarantee you we're going to be all right, because he's going to talk, I'm going to listen, and when you get done, I'm going to rebut a little bit and piss him off, and then we're going to be all right.
But this is a circle. They go through this every like quarter of the year, dog. It's like something with the moon. It's something aligned with the moon. They go through this shit every quarter year or something like that.
Got to keep it spicy.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right. Listen, that's my brother, so I'm stuck with him in a different way, boy. Woo, boy. They know how to bring it at you, boy. They not,
I don't believe that.
you know that when Bernie Mac was at the player club. Listen,
I don't believe that.
Listen, I wanted to share that with y'all though, because like I say, and I want to talk to Katina because we talked last week after we did the second show. Like, it is some things that now that we have an audience, we do need to tackle some stuff. Because a lot of people don't have the courage to have them conversations, and a lot of people too ashamed to go out front. So if you create those avenues where people can listen to Dr. Peters or Ethan Allen, I think we have a responsibility now that we have grown and we've awakened. We got to go back for the people that's a little bit asleep, So I appreciate that for y'all. I was feeling like Jarrell Wedding for a minute. I had to get myself together.
Man.
Yeah.
Then don't cry.
Boy, that show
I ever told.
We have been on YouTube clips for the next year. Let's add this show. Hey, we're gonna end the show on a good note. Well, good vibes. This is a conversation. This is a topic that came from Chris, and I still don't have my answer. What if you could take one pill for 1 week, giving you one power? What would that power be? Chris, lead it off.
I say that power should be the power to say the right thing at the right time. I believe there's power in the tongue. My brief experiences with church, I hear that a lot. There's powers in the tongue and speak things into existence. I also believe in positive affirmation. One of my most admired jobs is the hostage negotiator. The hostage negotiator is able to save a life without a superpower, without a weapon, without anything but his words. So I believe that if you're able to save a life with just your words, that's one of the greatest things. The art of communication is great. Imagine this. Imagine being able to go on that interview and say everything right and get that job. Imagine being in school or at work and do that performance or that presentation and you nail it. Also imagine if you were on that date with the woman of your dreams and you get every single thing right. Imagine having that ability. Like not only that, like what if your family is going through something or your friends is going through something and they're having a hard day or they're having a rough spot and they know that they could call you and you're going to say the right thing. So I believe that if I had one power, it would be the power to say the right thing at the right time. I think words have so much power. You can speak life into people or you can speak death. Choose to speak life into people. That's it.
Zaybo, quickly, what you got?
Chris, I totally bumbled that question. I'm gonna be honest to you. I didn't hear that weak part. You feel me? And I was just thinking about that one because I'm with you through. It took me a minute. I had to think about it. And I thought, Mario, I'm sorry you helped me with this one because this is the one that brought it for me. I'm a Cancer. And for me, what I want to do, the power that I needed is to care less. Mario always tell me, Zay, you care too much. Now, I don't want y'all to get me wrong. I care, but I don't give a fuck. In the same sense, star responses. However, you feel me? That's my weak point for me. For me, that's my weak point. That's the power that I wanted to possess because I care about how my friends are doing. I care about the ones that are close to me, my loved ones, my family, even individuals that I come in contact with that I see potential in. You feel me? I'll stop, share a word with them on some things that we weren't taught growing up that I see them messing up on, and I don't have no tie to them. And I want to focus more. It might be selfish of me, but I'm telling. I want to focus more on me and what I have going on. I'm a firm believer in I can't pour into another cup until I'm full. So I want to be able to spill over into them, but spill over into them the proper way. So I need to care less right now because those are distractions as far as me getting where I need to be to help and empower someone else to be where they That's my thing that I came up
Mario.
Well, but Chris said it, and I want to know how long I had it for a day, a week, a month. It didn't matter. I still want the same thing to heal. I want to be able to heal because I just want to give people a second chance. I'm talking about heal mentally, physically, or however they come. Because most of the hurt in this world come from, and most of the fear come from a fear of losing, loss of anything, loss of life, loss of money, loss of things. So imagine if, just being unhealthy. I just know how bad it feels when you get a cold. So imagine if somebody can just walk up to me and whatever pain they feel in any part of their life, I can give them another year or another, you know what I'm saying? Just really heal them. Like, you know, and that would be just an amazing thing because I've seen so many people hurt so much in my life. And if I could have been the person that actually went there and took some of that pain away from them, I think that right there in itself would give me the happiness I would need to just be on cloud nine for the rest of my life. Because to see people hurt is just a hurting feeling. You know what I'm saying? So if I could just imagine just walking in somewhere, that's how I pictured it. Of all the people I've seen hurt, I just pictured me being able to walk in and make them not hurt no more. That'd be like the best thing in the world. Not to mention it, because right now most of the people, even talking medically, most of the people who get healed are people with money. So I would be helping the ones who need it the most. You know what I'm saying? Because then it wouldn't be about no money or who you know. It'll just be simply the mercy and grace of me. You just meeting me that day, and then you healed. I can, it just go back to people. It just that healing. To be able to heal people is the best thing in the world to me.
All right. Well, them all good answers. The kid in me was going to say teleport, and then I took a moment to be a little more serious. I would actually say that my choice would be wisdom. In the Bible, Solomon asked for wisdom, and it was really more about discernment. He wanted discernment in his judgment. I think with me, I'm victim of a lot of bad decisions I've made. I've made some decisions, lack of patience. I've made some decisions emotionally. And those decisions, man, if I had more wisdom or I viewed it from a different perspective, I think that I would have some different circumstances regarding a lot of things, early on in my adulthood. So I would say wisdom. I think with wisdom, being able to see things from a different lens, I think could be powerful, day to day about world events, family events. Just it almost may mirror what Chris or one of you guys said about, saying the right thing. But I think my power will be wisdom because wisdom gives you a lot of powers, a lot of insight, and you can get wealthy with wisdom, and you can get some. I think if you have wisdom, you can be rich. So that's my answer.
Right. I agree with that.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, closing comments. Who want to go first today? Give it to me. Want to go with Mario? Are you ready for me? Closing comments. Give me some wisdom.
First of all, I'm always begin with saying, hey, thank you for tuning in because we do this actually, to get this is our therapy of some sort, you know what I'm saying? And it was an idea brought to us, and right now I'm actually loving this. I think about this through the week, like what am I going to represent? Like, what do we need to hear as a community? So I don't want y'all to think we just get on here and we just bumbling through. I know it's real talk, but I know everybody on this panel really give a darn about what's going on, and most of the people who comment know that because they know us. Secondly, I want to say, black men don't cheat, and third, I want to say, share. Share this as much as you can, so we can get more interaction and more men, and then share it to as many men as you can too, because we want brothers to interact too. I thank God for our sisters, because they always support us, whether it's criticism or whether it's in helpfulness. I'm saying they're gonna be there no matter what. So we need our black brothers, and there's a lot of them in the comments too who don't say as much, but
they watching.
You gotta be more vocal too. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, we represent y'all, and the stronger we are as a whole, the stronger we'll be for our women, and we'll be walking back into our true place as the head of this nation. So just stay tuned for next Monday. It's gonna be even better than this Monday.
I'm gonna run off. I'm right behind you. I always thank y'all too, because you could be doing anything right now on Monday, but y'all listening to us. So that's really good. This does help us, as the women are saying, to help others. That we said that from the beginning. My brother just said he want a heart to heal others. I just told you guys that, I don't want to care at all, but I want to care less. You know what I'm saying? I feel like I care too much, which is probably a hindrance of mine. Because if I cared less, you know what I'm saying, I'll be focused more on myself, which then I could do even more things though. So I'm still caring a little bit too much. But I appreciate you guys. You guys allow us to become a conduit, because it's not who we know, but it's the people that you know that we're able to reach, that we would have never been able to have a conversation with in the first place. And the guys that are tuning in, please give us your feedback, your comments, the same way the women do. The women, men, you guys are letting the women make us look bad because you guys say something to us in passing, but we actually do need your input, because it's for guys when it's a whole nation of black men that these women want to hear about. You guys are the prize. They're asking about you because they want you. So if you too cool, too coy, you're in the back, playing the back, they ain't gonna never know how to love you properly, and you're gonna still keep having the same issues that you're having with women, which really isn't issues, it's understanding. You guys get the questions out there to us and my brothers, either in our DMs or in these comment sections, and we're gonna address them and put them on the forefront. We're not afraid to speak. So you can tell us and we'll put it out there for you. So, I thank God for allowing us to be the conduit that you guys may need, whether it be the women or the men. We here for y'all. Like super friends. That's us.
Chris.
Okay, I'm gonna have to put on my stethoscope for this one, because I am the date doctor. Dating. I want to give a dating tip. I like to consider dating ladies shopping. Now, when you're ladies shopping, consider this. You can be treated okay or bad anywhere. That's sort of like what I call a corner store lady. For my up north people, that's a bodega. A corner store lady is basically, in the corner store, you got a small variety. The customer service suck, and you're getting cashed out through the glass to protect their feelings. That's a corner store lady. That's the next tier from that would be what I call a Walmart lady. That's good. Walmarts are kind of convenient. They're not as many as corner stores, but they are convenient. The selection is a lot better, and the customer service is a tad bit better. But when you go to checkout, it's basically all of them. The lines are closed, and it's self checkout, so you're doing most of the work. The next tier from that, and what I think you should be looking for, is what I call the Publix lady. The customer service is exceptional. You go in there, you get greeted with a smile. The food tastes good, if you know what I mean. The selection is there. When you go to check out, the lines are open, and sometimes you could get a buy one get one free. Now remember, I think dating is ladies shopping, and when you're ladies shopping, remember you want to choose a Publix lady, because Publix is where shopping is a pleasure.
Amen. Hallelujah.
Yeah, I expected that. Thank you, date doctor.
I second that, Chris.
Listen, you know how y'all always seem to line up on that one side? It's me and Mario on one side. Y'all line up on that side.
Boy, preaching.
Listen, first off, I want to say to Dr. Peters, who's in the room tonight, absolutely. As soon as these 4 guys say they can go, we can do this show at any time, because I do want to tackle some of the issues, especially with so much going on with COVID. People about to get evicted. There's a lot going on. We are in uncharted times right now, and everybody, social media got people out here putting on this act like everything is phenomenal. And the reality is, you go to their house, the bed on the floor. But second of all, I want to say to everyone out there that if you have someone, I'm not saying this applies to everyone, but if you got someone that you might have fell out with, one of your friends, one of your loved ones, and you can genuinely say, if you heard bad news that something happened to that person, take time tomorrow to at least say, hey, thinking about you, I hope all is well. I think that's a challenge for everybody this week. A lot of times we get emotional and we start speaking to somebody over something that once they leave here, we find out how petty it is. And then you're left with unresolved, unspoken conversations. So I want to challenge everybody to at least, check on your strong friends and reach out to people that, got a piece of your heart. So in closing, I want to thank everyone that tuned in tonight to the cast. I left that last topic on there because y'all didn't know it was coming. But overall, I always want people to see the authentic aspect of our conversations. Like Mario said, a lot of time we've had some of the most amazing conversations under the light pole or at the forum. And I was like, if we could take this, man, a lot of people could get therapy from it. And they're amazing conversations. So y'all didn't know that was coming, but that was my tribute to say, like, to show people, like, we men and we have conversations and we have a dynamic that more men need to embrace. We got to kind of shake off the old stuff that's been kind of weighting us down. Once you know better, you do better. So as soon as Dr. Peters says she's ready to go, we can have that show. And to anyone, the Black Super Friends page is up. Please invite people to that page. We want to grow that page.
Ladies and gentlemen, share, please.
Please share it because it's an amazing show. And the more it grows, the more we can tackle and the more we can cover. And we're going to do some amazing shows with the Date Doctor, Mario, and Zay up top. So Dr. Peters, let us know when you're ready. We'll catch you on the backstage now. Everybody that tuned in, we love you. We appreciate you. See you next Monday, Monday Night Raw.
Bam.
Thank you.